everybody. Welcome to the Trident birthday stream. Thank you so much for being here. My name's Val. I'm the founder and executive producer of the Trident Network. I'm just going to tell you where you are real quick, and then we can get to the actual fun parts. We all kind of came together, me and a group of friends. Some of them are in the chat. Some of them are about to be on screen. Some of them will be on screen later. Came together and a couple years ago, 2 years ago, in fact, and thought, there's so much we can do in the digital space, and there's a lot of different ways that we can make being creative more accessible using the digital space and the digital medium. And that's kind of what Trident was born out of, a place where creative and funny people can be creative and funny, and we can lower as many barriers to entry as we possibly can. And that's what we're trying to do every day here at Trident. So we have some incredible podcasts, we have incredible live shows here on Twitch, and we have really cool recorded content like web series and sketches, some of which you'll see throughout the stream in our breaks today. So the core of it is this. All of the people who make these shows and make these videos and this content are incredible people. And so when we were trying to decide how we wanted to celebrate our second birthday, we were like, how can we get as many of these people together in one place at one time? And what we came up with was the crossover event of the century, which is where you are right now. You're at our crossover birthday party, where you're going to see some familiar shows with hosts and creators of other shows playing in them or featuring in them. You're going to see some totally new segments, never before seen and probably never will be seen again, that were conceptualized by fun combinations of our members. So basically, you're just going to see a lot of really fun stuff made by some really incredible people today. And if you want to support what we're doing, we have a few different ways that you can do that. You can become a subscriber right here on Twitch, which you can actually, in fact, do for free if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, because I don't know if you knew this, but Amazon owns Twitch. Fun fact. And so you can, at no cost to yourself, support us by becoming a subscriber using your Prime subscription. Even if you don't have Prime, you can still subscribe and be a supporter for a very low cost to yourself. You can also become a Patreon patron. So I'm sure someone is helping me out in the chat right now and adding in this information. Carly, that's your cue. You can also buy our merch, of which we have quite a bit of fun stuff. We also have a PayPal where you can throw us some tips if you'd like as well. You can also just support us if you don't want to support us financially or can't right now, that's totally fine. You can also just be a part of our community. You can be a fan. You can join our Discord. You can come watch our shows and listen to our podcasts, leave us fun reviews, and help other people find us by spreading the word. So however you want to support us, whatever effort you put in, whatever time or money or whatever, it is going directly towards the people who you are going to see today and beyond that, of people who are just making really incredible stuff and being really creative in a space where there isn't a lot of stuff happening right now. So it's kind of the Wild West, and we get to be really creative and have fun. So anyway, I will stop talking and let the fun begin. We're here with Carly, who, if you were watching the previous segment, you might recognize. But Carly, why don't you introduce yourself, just in case we've had a few new people pop in.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carly, also known as C2 here on Twitch. I see you, Minecraft. Hello, Minecraft. I'm the Trident Network. I host a show called The Spark, which is a show about the universe and everything. I co-host that with my good friend Jess. That's actually going to be the show we do it once a month on a Sunday. That is going to be next week. That's what I do. I'm also part of the leadership team. I am one of the leaders here at Trident. And I am good friends with Val. Val, who is one of my very good friends, and I'm really happy to be here for the party.
Yeah,
we're 2 years old.
We're this many.
Isn't that weird?
It is, but also it's like,
I feel like I just had the conversation about making Trident with you.
I know. So Carly and I, or C2 and I, do you prefer me to refer to you as C2 when we're on the internet?
You can either one, because I say my name. My name is on my page too.
Okay.
So Carly,
so it's not like a
either
secret.
one's interchangeable. No. Yeah. For a while, I was trying to keep that's because it's a streamer thing to like keep your real name hidden, but like that didn't work. So then I'm like, okay, well, I just hope I don't get a stalker.
Right.
That's like
I hope that too,
because that would suck for me. But I think if I had a stalker, like even if I tried really hard, somehow I'm just like, they'd find out. Like I'm like, they'd find out. If somebody really, really wanted to stalk me, they would do it. And that's,
I get that.
One. Anyway.
I get that. I used to host live shows in my living room, and I would often get this like little moment of nerves, like putting my address out into the universe.
Yes.
Because you just don't know. I was very fortunate that, nothing ever happened.
Oh, I love those live shows. Yeah, nothing weird ever happened.
Yeah.
Nothing bad ever happened because of those shows.
No, they were great. They were really, really great. And now I do this on the internet instead.
A little safer in some ways.
In some ways.
In some ways, a little safer. A little weirder.
A little weird.
A little safer.
A little safer. Well, anyway, what I was starting to say was that Carly and I had a conversation. So I'd already been working in the video space, and I had always had an interest in podcasts. And it was like right at the beginning of the pandemic, or what was it called earlier? The big panty? Was that what we called it in the last segment?
The big panty.
We were sat down to talk about this, and obviously she, was really lobbying hard for there to also be a live element. And I'm so glad that you did that, because
I was like, yeah, get it on Twitch, get it on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, let's put it live.
Yeah. Because I love our podcast. I have a podcast on the network, and of course I love our recorded content because that's what my background is in. But yes. I think that what's cool about Twitch is that we've really been able to just be so creative and like make stuff up as we go. And like every show has its own vibe, its own feel, its own setup, its own way of working. And like, where can you say that? Like, there's like no like other creative space that I can think of where it's just like, yeah, make it whatever you want and it'll probably work. We'll figure out how to make it work. And that's also such a fun conversation to have whenever we have like a new show. Like, well, what do you want it to look like? How do you want it to work? And in a second, you'll, for those of you who weren't here at the beginning of the stream, we're going to be doing another segment of Stupid Games, Stupid Prizes in a second. You'll see a perfect example of that, right? Where Justin, had this aesthetic and was like, can we make this work? And I was like, sure. Yeah, let's do it. And it looks really cool and it works really well. And I think that's just such a fun thing about Twitch and about the live space.
It's really cool too that is, because I feel like that is a primary not driver, but that's like a primary point, like a primary thing that you are concerned with and that you were concerned with in the beginning when we were talking about it, was like, I want to provide the space and provide whatever it is, the software, the space, the digital space, the platform, whatever it is that somebody needs. If somebody has an idea, I want to provide that space. And I think that like open-ended, like, well, what do you want? Like, let's talk about what it is that you want. Let's talk about your vision. And I think that's like really, I don't want to say rare, but that's like really important to like allowing artists to do their art and to like experiment. And it's like, yeah, we'll scrap it, we'll start a new show, like, yeah, we'll do, or you can be absorbed into this show, or like if you want to be, and then like also having like all the guests and having different podcasts of different guests and members of Trident be on like other podcasts and like being on shows and stuff like that. I love being guests. I love being a guest in another Trident member show. I think
we love a crossover, as evidenced by what we're doing right now. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your show?
My show?
Yeah.
The Spark. So in my show's called The Spark. In 2020, I had kind of what we would consider like a spiritual awakening. And I was just like, whoa, I'm like one with everything. And that was really profound to me. I think 2020 was a big year for all of us for many reasons. But it was I had a lot of time alone. I had a lot of time to go inward. And I found like a wealth of like knowledge on the internet, but also a wealth of knowledge inside myself. And I was not the only person who had experienced something like this, something like feeling like you're connected to everything. Like there's like, not like there's finally meaning, but like there's meaning and no meaning, like in the paradox of being alive and like the interesting journey of being a human and all these things that like I had thought were like cool and like interesting, but I really like got into like all of that kind of like woo-woo esoteric like knowledge like way more. And that's like a hobby of mine, is like self-mastery and like inward expansion and just like knowing myself. And it's my favorite thing to talk about. And I was also streaming at that time, but I was streaming video games. So it's like not that, and we get weird on chat and we talk about weird stuff. And I have tons of good chats on my stream about video games and about like going inward and things like that. But I felt like I really want to have a space that is specific to that conversation, the conversation of the self and the conversation of self-mastery, because that's what I'm into. That's like one of my hobbies. So I had a different show. I had a different show on Trident called Best Random Ever, where I was trying to be the best random ever in video games, trying to be a good example of what a good random can be. Because I was kind of sick of the conversation of being like, it's these other people that they're the reason that I'm not having a good time playing video games. And I was like, is that the reason? Or is it that you maybe need to learn a little bit of personal responsibility and emotional regulation? So that was the first show that I had. But I could never like nail down what I wanted to do in that show. So and then similarly to the Trident conversation, I was having a conversation with Val about like what I would want to do with a show. Like, what do you really want your show to be about? What do you really want your show to be about? And I think a little bit I was like hiding behind like the like impetus for video games. Like the video games need to be a part of what I'm talking about, because I had been streaming for so long that like I hadn't done anything without video games. So then while I was talking to Val, we like within the discussion, it dawned on me, like, I was like, oh, I could just talk about the stuff. Like I could just have a show where I like pick a subject and talk about the things that I'm learning and the things that I'm interested in. And we named it The Spark, which is funny because it was like a screensaver that I had created on my phone. Synchronicity. And we named it The Spark. And then one of my really good friends, Jess, who has also been on this journey of self-mastery and knowing herself and studying like the woo-woo things, was I asked her if she wanted to be on the first episode of The Spark, and she said yes. But then as we're talking about the first episode, we realized we have like so much to talk about. So she's been my co-host for all of the episodes. And we have 4 episodes out right now that are on YouTube, and they happen every month on Twitch. But it's really just like, and we're not practitioners. So we're not like, we didn't like study, like we're not like, not that there's anything wrong with that. Like I just put the disclaimer of like, we didn't study under like a teacher. We didn't go to school for like a lot of things. We're just talking about our journey, and how our journey going inward like has helped us, and also like what we're working on. And it's a really cool space. I have a lot of cool friends from Twitch who I met on Twitch who come and like talk about their own journeys and stuff. And it's kind of like a space where you can talk about like feelings and like what you're working on. And like, we don't have like most of it's just me and Jess talking about what we're working on, but also it's really cool to see people coming in and talk about what they're experiencing. We are away for the universe to experience itself. That's right, Minecraft. We're waiting for the universe to experience. Like, hi, See the Fuzz. Yeah, I do keep on the Spark. Yeah, Ryan Burkett, See the Fuzz, Minecraft, they've all been to the Spark and has gone deep with us.
Yes.
So I'm really appreciative of that.
in our last minute here before we throw it to Stupid Games, Stupid Prizes, what is something that you are looking forward to as in our third year here at Trident?
I'm really excited. What is really cool is seeing the shows that have like been like short concept shows that have left, and then new short concept shows that are coming, but then also like new iterations of shows. And I am always really intrigued by any new shows. Like you're like, oh, we've got this. Like when we talk on the phone and we're like talking about what's coming or like what the goals are or anything. And then you're like, oh, well, we got this podcast and this live show. And then we were talking to like, so I'm just always really excited about what new thing somebody is like daring to do. Cause I think the one thing about Trident that is like really cool is like Val's always asking you to like show up as your full self and like really try your art and like really try it. And that's really scary and hard to do. It's scary to show up completely and like be 100% behind the thing that you're doing, because like, what if nobody likes it? Or what if it doesn't go right? But like, this is a really cool space to like, try it. You could try it. Like who can, like and it's cool because there's a bunch of us doing that. Like there's a bunch of us being like, yeah, I'm just going to try it. Who cares? Like might as well do it. Cause what else am I doing? I've had this idea, and like, also doing the idea helps you sometimes, even if that idea doesn't work out, it helps you do the next thing that it was actually supposed to be, or like the next better thing, because you tried the idea, it didn't work, got rid of it, and now it's not in your brain, and now there's so much more room. And like that is like the main coolest thing that Trident provides, is like the room to experiment and the room for it to like become the thing that you want it to be.
Oh, that makes me smile that that's what we are doing, because that's what I always hoped we would. Maria, why don't you introduce yourself real quick to everybody?
Hi, my name is Maria Konopken. I'm part of the Trident leadership. I'm really excited to be part of this birthday celebration. Also excited for what we have next. It's really like upper realm as far as what I do at the Trident Network. I co-host a podcast called Sparks of Madness. It's a storytelling podcast. We get people to talk. It's sort of like Inside the Actor Studio, but for storytelling. So we have stories from people that are performers, comedians, but also just like everyday people, because everyone's story deserves to be told. So we're pretty excited. Season 2 is coming out soon. So we're in the beginning stages of that. I'm also Scorpio, which is really important to me.
I am also a Scorpio, just 2 Scorpios living our best lives.
But if I remember correctly, you're October?
I am. I'm actually a Libra Scorpio cusp. October 23rd. So that is a very confusing thing to be, in case anyone was wondering.
Definitely. I think of the signs that are right next to each other, those two are definitely like, I feel the most extreme, maybe based on reputation, but also I feel they get along really well. Not date, but get along really well.
Yes, for sure. I believe at least one person in the next segment is a Libra who I get along with very well.
Yeah, same here.
Cool. Well, Maria, why don't you tell us like first of all, like what inspired you to make Sparks of Madness? I want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. So, with everything that happened in the pandemic, and especially in quarantine, a lot was happening. And like, just as we all know, but for me personally, I lost a couple people due to COVID and just other things that were happening. And we got together as like a family and like as friends to talk about the person, but we couldn't like get together in person because of everything. So it was a lot of Zoom and having those stories. And it was just really rich to hear stuff about my aunts that maybe I wasn't privy to, because we really just had to sit there. We weren't able to like, okay, I'm going to leave and go eat this food or go talk to this relative. We're all on Zoom and telling these stories. And I was like, wow, wouldn't it be great to like capture this stories and in the person's own words, and then also like talk a little bit more about it. So had the idea, and then I talked to my co-host Julie, and we kind of blew it out a bit more. She's really great at like the fine details and like how we can like make it a show. So yeah, it was just really inspired by just having people's story be told and recorded, especially when we were forced to sit down with it.
Yeah. Well, it's cool that you talk about it being inspired by family, because I believe your season finale was with your parents, right?
Yeah, they talked about their love story, like how they met, which I really like. Maybe it's why I'm really into romantic comedies, might be because of them. But also theirs is non-toxic versus other romantic comedies are very toxic. But you like love that, and I really enjoyed it. And they can talk as as I've inherited that gene as well. So
that's awesome. What else have you been a part of at Trident, or like what are you excited about that's going on at Trident besides your podcast?
Yeah, I really am enjoying like the web series, like the one we just saw earlier. I'm a big fan of Stupid Games, Stupid Prizes. Is that the name? It's Justin's hosting, so I really just like watching that show. The other podcasts we have, I definitely tune into the Disney podcast by Devin. I'll like message him random stuff. I was actually on it with one of my friends. I hadn't seen season 2 of Bridgertons, but I really enjoyed watching that show. Just everything, I guess, just excited for it's like year 2. So as we're moving on and growing as a network, is sort of getting into like our toddler years. It's great to see what's going to happen next.
Amazing. What do you think is going to happen next?
More hot shows, more hot people. But I think it's also a great avenue for people to try new things. And I think you give a space that allows people to, okay, where can we be creative? Like for me, I did host was part of a show that was on Twitch. It was my first time being on Twitch, so that was new to me. I think it's just going to be exciting to have the opportunity and get people more of like a space that maybe live theater, which a lot of us are from, or even just how do we work in this like new realm of things? Because one thing that came out of like quarantine and the pandemic is a lot more can be done online. So how can we be creative in that space too? So I'm excited.
Amazing. Me too. All right.
What are you most excited about?
Oh boy. Also more hot shows and more hot people. I think that should be our new tagline for the entire network. I'm definitely going to make t-shirts that say that are going to be available in our merch store in short order. But in all seriousness, I mean, I think that we have a lot of shows coming down the pike, like really soon, actually. A few of their hosts are actually a part of the stream today. Like that's how soon they're coming up. And those are really exciting shows with different perspectives and stuff, but still like in line with a lot of what we're working on or have already. And then there's also stuff that's a little bit more in like the development phase that's really exciting. And one cool thing that's been happening lately that like is a new thing, very flattering and very cool, is like we're getting just sort of cold approached by people, like pitched on shows, which is like such a cool thing. And like I'm really proud of all of us for getting to a place where like our shows are touching people and reaching people, and they are their response is not just to obviously enjoy those shows, but also to be like, I want to do that too. I can do that, and I want to be a part of this, because like that's why we're here, is we're trying to empower people to actually like make the things that they have ideas about. So yeah, that's really exciting and something I'm very, very proud of that we've achieved in our second year. So excited for more of that. I'm here with M. Smith, and M is a part of the leadership team and also has a show on Trident. Why don't you tell everyone about yourself so that I don't have to?
Sure. Yeah, totally. Val covered most of it. My name's M, and I am part of the Trident Network board. I also host the Witching Hour with Kayla, who was on camera earlier today, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. Yeah. Kayla was in the
Big
Coven crossover.
You can't miss it. We do the Trident Network on Mondays. Once a month, we try to schedule it around the full moon. And just like it sounds like, we talk about astrology, we talk about tarot, witchy things, the moon cycle. That's how it started. And it's kind of devolved into just us. We just talk about our therapists mostly and all the witchy things that go with that. And it's a really good time, and you don't have to know anything about anything to join.
It's true. It's very fun. And there actually is one tomorrow at 8:00 Central. So you can catch it. Yeah. I'm there in the sky, a disembodied voice, as I always am.
Yep. Val is our sky mommy. And I think that you are there to produce the show like you do with others. But I think for this one, you're also you're holding us in your little hands. I feel very safe in that space. I feel like I overshare. Hey, tune in tomorrow, because I tend to overshare. Never in real life, really, but on the Witching Hour, yes. Mm-hmm. So you can tune in for that. I believe the card we are on is we just did the Tower, so I believe believe is Wheel of Fortune next. Let me double check on that
Ooh.
actually.
I think
But
Wheel of Fortune might have been last month. I don't know.
That's right. We're making our way through the deck. We might have a special guest. We might have some audience games and interactions. By might, I mean we definitely do. And yeah, I don't know. It seems like you, Val, we've been doing the show for about a year now. And I feel like when we first started, you were like, I don't know anything about this stuff. And now you'll be like in the chat, like, well, this gives me Libra energy, so I'm going to go with this. Like,
it's true. I have absorbed through osmosis a lot of information about tarot and astrology and all that fun stuff. And like you all make it very accessible. Like it's not like you have to be obsessed or like get your PhD in this to like keep up. Like it's very conversational and accessible, and I really appreciate that as a novice.
Totally. I that's good to hear, because that's kind of what our goal was. I didn't do tarot for a while because it felt very gatekeepy to me and it felt very pretentious, and I had just kind of like blinders on. But I think talking to Kayla more and over the pandemic, it's just a nice way to be introspective. And it's a nice, like, in the same way that like if you're like a dog person and then someone else is a dog person, you instantly have something to start talking about. I feel that with other people. It's like a bridge to start a conversation.
Yeah.
It's a good time. We smoke weed during it, and you can too.
That's right. You absolutely can. You can smoke weed right now too if you want.
You can smoke weed right now. If you're over the age of 21,
yes,
you can smoke weed right now.
Yeah. And what are you excited about? We're on our second birthday. What do you think is going to happen before our third birthday?
I feel like we have more people spread out across the country and other countries. And so I think like our reach is expanding. I see us doing more, some cool live shows with the community we have here, maybe even like streaming into a live show, since that's becoming more accessible. Yeah, I like how big we've grown so far. I'm excited. I can't believe it's been 2 birthdays already. They grow up so fast.
They really do. For anyone who's just tuning in, why don't you introduce yourself and just talk about your show for a little bit?
Absolutely. I am Justin Swinson. I'm a member of the board for the Trident Network, and I also host Stupid Game, Stupid Prizes, the stupidest game on Twitch. I'm pretty sure. I haven't done all the research, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's up there, top 5.
Yeah,
top 5.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're interested in learning more about Stupid Games, Stupid Prizes, stay tuned, because there will be one final segment later tonight. So you will get to see it in its full glory, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin, you've been around at Trident pretty much since the beginning. So how do you feel about the fact that we've made it to 2 years? Have we changed a lot?
Yes, and also I feel like I echo the sentiments of everybody, where it's just like, man, 2 years went by really fast. Like, what?
Right?
It feels like just yesterday you were like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this thing. Would you have any interest in it? And I remember at the time thinking, I don't know. I don't think I would have any ideas for that would be helpful. And fast forward 2 years, and here I am.
Here you are with so many good ideas. You're absolutely brimming with them.
Too many ideas.
I sound like I'm joking, but like for real, when we have our leadership meetings, Justin's always there with like an incredible idea, and I'm just like furiously scribbling down all of it to try and make it happen, because it's so good.
Yeah. I always think, I'm like, all right, maybe one of these meetings I just won't say anything, like just in case. I don't always have to be like, hey guys, I've got another idea.
No, I so appreciate you and all your amazing ideas. You were like one of the first people to conceptualize a live show on the network.
Yes.
Like, how was that for you? Because like there wasn't much to frame it after yet. Like we were kind of inventing it as we were doing it.
Yeah, it was really just, honestly, I feel like one of the main things I wanted to do was just kind of not overwork myself and not overthink it. Just kind of just put something up and being like, well, we've never done this before. It's uncharted waters, and we'll learn as we go.
Mhm.
And kind of through that, I kind of figured out, I feel like I've had basic ideas about the game that have stayed consistent throughout. but there have also been like parts of it where I'm like, okay, we do need to have our ways to engage with our audience more, and we do need to figure out ways to like kind of make sure our contestants are like as into it and like into it while also having no idea what's going on as we can, and like finding that perfect balance.
Totally.
Yeah.
You've had some repeaters. Do you think they've gamed out how to win, or do you think you can keep it fresh for them?
I actually, if I were to probably look over the statistics, the people that have played multiple times have never won.
Wow.
Except for Allie Stark. Allie Stark's
Stark.
the only one, but it took her 3 tries to win. So I feel like it's almost like a self-fulfilling. Like if you come on to play more than once, you're probably not going to win. I don't know why. It's just the odds are not in your favor for some reason. If you come in completely blind, you have a better shot than someone who's played it a couple times.
That's so funny. How do you
Strange.
How do you come up with all of these games? Like, I feel like you are so creative, and I would never be able to think of like any of these.
I really tried hard to like kind of destigmatize like trivia and like games, because it always feels like, at least in a public setting, it always feels very daunting and like you have to know all of these things. So like the fun of the show for me is leveling that playing field and like coming up with something as silly as, I bet you don't know what Chili's has on their menu right now. Or like, you know what I mean? Is this an actual news story? Is it something I made up? Kind of just like making sure it's something, if there's no possible way anyone could really have a strong knowledge base about it, that's usually what is kind of the signal for me of, oh, that's got a good game.
I mean, you're so good at it. Oh, and anyone can be a contestant, right?
Yeah, truly anyone can play. I kind of take pride in the idea of like, of course I have had some of my friends play it, and like I'll try and like set up the game where it is outside their circles of knowledge, but literally it is a game where you can pretty much come in blind, play, have fun, try to win, but at the end of the day, it's just we're just having some silly little fun on the internet.
That's right. I feel like you're a very good host too, because like even you could see it this morning, like you'd never met a lot of the people who were on both segments today, and like I think it went really smoothly, and everyone was just feeling really comfortable. What's your host philosophy?
Well, I would say, this is me being completely silly now, a lot of my success as a host has to probably do with the fact that I'm a Pisces. I feel like I'm a good listener. I'm a good feeler of energies. I can kind of I get a good read off people, and I feel like people are comfortable around me in general. But also a lot of it is also I am willing to do something silly if it makes everybody else comfortable. Like I'm willing to make the silly joke or make the silly pun or like talk about something that I have no idea what I'm talking about, if that can get us all to a point of where we're all just having fun and we're all just at a point of ease where we can just, I don't know, play some games and maybe somebody can win some socks. Like it's, at the end of the day, it's just a couple people on the internet playing for socks and glassware. And I don't know, like it's all silly. The world is hard enough.
Right. Is the dollar store on to you yet?
No, please no one tell them. I hope they're not watching. Shout out to Dollar Value Plus, 6714 North Clark Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60626. They are not on to me. It is very funny though. They may be on to me, but they haven't said anything because I get the prizes for Stupid Game, Stupid Prizes, and I also do a live show that has some prizes. So I feel like they see me once a month, every month, and I'm buying the most hodgepodge of items. So either they just are like, this dude really runs through socks like nobody's business, or they just are nice enough to not say anything because they're like, well, this guy's kept us open through the pandemic, so what are we gonna do?
There you go. You're single-handedly keeping Dollar Value Plus alive.
I kind of want them to never know. I feel like I had a friend once tell me they went in there and they were like, wow, this is it.
It's famous.
This is, and like, I'm like, just don't tell them. Just don't tell them how you found it.
Amazing. Well, I've been asking everyone this question today. What do you think what are you excited about, or what do you expect to see between now and our third birthday?
Ooh, I guess I'm biased a little bit because of the live shows, but I guess I have two answers. I would love to get more variation of the live shows that we have. Like, I feel like there's been an idea too that we've talked about that I've always kind of thought about. I'm like, ooh, if there's a way we can kind of like start playing with different live elements to kind of like, whether it be comedy shows, whether it be a game show, whether it be music based or like a storytelling thing, like just kind of playing with the different angles we can do with the live shows and just upping the variety, because that'll just bring in more people and get everybody more connected.
It's true.
And honestly, kind of throughout the whole birthday, we've had all these great, like whether it be a web series or whether it be a video sketch, just the continued like use of that, really. I feel like a grand scheme goal for us one day, I don't want to blow up the spot too much for you, Val, here, is like, man, I feel like one day we have to have like a Trident film festival, right? Or like a short festival where we just kind of get like maybe a dozen or so shorts in, and we like have judges, or maybe the people watching get to judge. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but that'd be where I'd love to see us at in a year.
I would love that. Well, maybe our next birthday party will be a festival.
You got to speak it into existence, right?
We said it here first, folks. Tune in a year, exactly 1 year from today.
We have to do it after the Oscars again.
Right after the Oscars, right after the Last of Us finale, during March Madness. Our timing is impeccable. So yes, tune in next year to see if we do a fest. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
Val, how's your day?
Wait, has it been a day?
I've been like, it's gonna be dark soon.
It is. It's getting dark.
You're like seeing it all the way through. This is amazing.
I managed to spend the AM hours upstairs, so I have not been in my cave for the entire day, thankfully. But yes, it's been a lot, but it has been so much fun. Everybody has absolutely been a delight. We've had shows that are familiar, but with fun new faces. We've had totally new shows like the one you and Devin came up with. That was just absolutely ridiculous and so funny. It has been great. And I'm excited that we're about to do your show, which is a new favorite here at the Trident Network. You want to tell everyone a little bit about what they're about to see?
Yeah, we call it Pilot Season, and it is a live streaming show with a team of actors and a team of comedy writers collaborating together to create an original sitcom pilot.
And that's exactly what they do. It's truly, this show was made to be done in this medium. Like, I don't think you could do it in another medium as well. It's so fun. And it really, like, I don't know. I'm just so grateful to you that you had this idea and brought it here.
I really wanted to involve writers live active in a show, and to figure out how to do that, I was just sort of like writing out my pitch, and I kept adding these other factors to it. And I was like, this might not make sense to everybody. And then you were like, I understand this completely.
Yeah, Ryan has been a part of the Trident Network since the beginning, but he didn't come to me with this idea until like a couple months ago. And yeah, it was like the second he explained it, I was like, how has this not always been a part of our lineup? It's so great. And I highly recommend watching the like reruns of the show, because they are so funny. They hold up just like a real sitcom. They hold up. And yeah, they're a blast. We just had an episode this past week.
Yeah, and that was a really fun one, I thought.
It was very fun. We had some good suggestions that prompted some really hilarious situations.
Yeah, and I think that people suggest things that they think are far away from sitcoms, so that we won't like rip off an existing one or fall into too many cliches and tropes and things like that. And you sort of find those cliches and tropes anyway, because that's what's fun about sitcoms. Mm-hmm. Like, yep, you know, a wacky misunderstanding, mm-hmm. the washer's overflowing. Somebody learned something.
There's an entire sentient rat family who's just doing a B plot in the background. Yep. No, we have fun. We have fun. I'm gonna cut this kind of short, but I have been asking everybody during these segments, what do you think? What are you excited for? What do you think you're gonna see between now and our third birthday?
It is so much exactly what you said it would be from day one, that like I feel like it's consistently the same, but there's more of each category. Like I think that like if we have 15 podcasts now, we're going to have 22. And if we, you know what I mean? Like everything is expanding and growing, but your like mission statement for this, you like told the truth. So in terms of like changes or new directions, I think it's only like the sort of spider web of it, the pond ripples getting bigger and reaching more things, and you know, new voices coming in. But I feel otherwise it's just like that truck is moving cross country.
Literally and figuratively. Well, from your lips to whoever's up there's ears. Hello.
Hey,
What's up?
living in my void. What's up with you?
Oh, you know, just also living in my void. I have not moved from this position, this spot for like 8 hours.
Yes, you are really in like a mental void. And I'm sorry for that.
But it's honestly been really fun. Like I am not being.
It's been fun. When I've tuned in, it's been fun.
Right? I am
Yes.
thoroughly enjoying it. And I think that like I love being in the background of all of these shows like in normal circumstances, because I think everyone's so funny and fun to watch. And I'm literally losing my voice because all I've been doing all day is just laughing at everyone. So I'm in my happy place. Like honestly, this is fine. I could live here for a while.
Love that. Love that for you.
Thank you. Nia, in case anyone doesn't know who you are, would you like to introduce yourself to the stream?
Yes. Hello, I'm Nia D'Emilio. I am on the Trident leadership team and also on hiatus. I am the host of the tournament podcast for the network. And then I have done some other stuff here and there. You've seen me on various streams and shows and whatnot.
And you've heard probably a lot of Nia's compositions as well, because she has composed many a theme song for the Trident network.
That's like my main... Literally, writing music is like my main side thing, and I forgot that was part of this. That's like my main thing, and I forgot. So.
Also, someday, we've been talking for 2 years now, literally, about you doing some kind of like video show on YouTube.
I know. So everyone can chime in what they think about this in the chat. So I really like collecting records. And I love collecting entire discographies for artists. Like, once I get into an artist, I need to know absolutely everything about them. And so my idea for a video show was to basically go, like, band by band and go through, like, every single one of their albums. And, like, so every video would be, like, a different album. But
love that.
I love it, too. I just am, like, I'm busy. But... I literally bought records for it. There was like one point when I was like, I'm gonna start, and I bought like 8 records to have like the first 8 and like to do, and then I just have never done it. But it's a great idea. Maybe you're right.
Maybe between now and our third birthday, you'll have done an episode.
Gotten my stuff together. Yeah. Exactly.
Speaking of which, I've been asking everyone this today. What do you think is going to happen between now and our next birthday?
Oh my gosh. What do I think is going to happen between now and our next birthday? I think we're going to have like a national pod.
Ooh. Say more.
Minimum one. Possibly several. But I think that our pods are going to blow up in the next year. That's like my big prediction.
Okay.
And then for the Earth in general, I think it's going to be a chill year.
I sincerely hope that is true.
I know.
I'm mostly just wishing it into existence more than believing, but believing is seeing. So
That's right. Not the other way around. Right.
yeah.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen in the next year?
Oh, no one's asked me. So obviously I have sort of like the cheat code of like knowing what we've all been talking about, like wanting to do. But I think someone said earlier, I can't even remember the context of it, but I think it was while we were live. Someone said something like, you have to like be ready for things to take a shape you're not expecting. So like I could see us doing a lot of different things. I could see us continuing to grow and just sort of like expanding each of our branches with more shows and more people, which would be amazing. I could see us getting more into like in-person streaming stuff, which we've talked about before. And that could open up, like types of shows that we could do that would be different than what we're doing now. So like that could be cool. We've talked about like offering like workshops and like group like work kind of groups. I think that could be really cool. We talked earlier, I think it was Justin's or I can't remember who it was now, but like someone said they wanted us to have a festival, and I think that would be really great.
Yes. Conversation.
Yeah. So like literally like some combination of those things I'm not even conceiving of. I really like, I think that Trident, like at our core, what we're trying to do is help people make things and grow and in whatever it is that they're trying to grow in. And so like that mission can like be achieved in a lot of different ways or via a lot of different avenues and can take a lot of different shapes. So I'm excited to see what comes next. And obviously if anyone who is listening in and has or watching and has a suggestion of something they would like to see us do, the chat's open, please. Suggestions welcome.
Well said, boss. That's why she's the boss. Vision.
Well, it's blurry, but it's starting to take shape.
Yeah, we need some glasses, but that's okay.
That's right. We'll get them. We'll figure it out. Well, we have reached the end. I have been in this exact spot for about 8 hours, and I loved every second of it. I hope you did as well. This has been such a wonderful showcase of not even all of the amazing things that are on the Trident Network and not even all of the amazing people who are part of the Trident Network. But it was a good smattering, and you can get the idea that this group is made up of a lot of really incredible people and really creative, fun people who make amazing stuff. So if you liked what you saw, please consider giving us a follow, subscribing, supporting us on Patreon, all of that good stuff. We've put the merch link in the chat about 800 times today because people keep talking about their merch. So you can also buy merch, and that helps us as well. But either way, we just hope to see you back here again, or listening to a podcast, or watching one of our videos sometime soon. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your night and your weekend.